Nice to meet you. Give it up one more time for Lea Thompson, everybody. Oh, you got the sparkly memo as well. Love it. Your mic's right behind you there, doll. Oh my gosh.
I get a mic too?
You do.
Wow, this is a big operation.
It really is. We pulled out all the stops here in Aberdeen. A few questions from me because I'm going to fangirl. I already warned her backstage. I mean, this is Amanda Jones we're talking about. I'm dying. But we do have microphones for you guys. This is an interactive Q&A panel, so we want to hear from you as well. There's a microphone here on the right and a microphone here on the left. If you want to go ahead and get your questions ready, don't be shy. We'll get to fan questions in a moment. But oh my gosh, I gotta tell you, dying. I was a huge fan of course, Back to the Future, Caroline in the City, life-changing, yes? Even Aaron is marking out for Caroline in the City. He calls himself Aaron in the City, but he doesn't like me to tell people that. And of course, my favorite film in the 80s, which was Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so let's first get into that. I know, that character, Amanda Jones, meant a lot to me, but what was it like working on that film?
Well, what was so nice about that movie was I met my husband, and we've been together like 35, 36 years.
Wow, round of applause.
And he's here in Aberdeen enjoying himself. And so I really love that movie for that reason. But also I just think that movie really holds up. Yeah. I think even the hairdos are kind of okay. Like
they're back in.
You could kind of wear those hairdos. And the clothes and the music, and I think those kind of John Hughes movies, they don't make them anymore like that. And some of John Hughes movies don't really hold up. They're like a little weird, but that movie still does.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mm-hmm. And everyone's saying that the 80s are back in terms of hairstyles and fashion and things like that. But Amanda Jones, the character, had a heart of gold, and it was one of my personal favorites. Another one of our favorites, of course, Back to the Future. Yes, and there's so many. First of all, round of applause for our cosplayers because there are so many Back to the Future cosplayers who deserve some praise. I'm seeing a few here.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
So before we get into Back to the Future, what do you think of our cosplayers and what is it like when they cosplay from something that you've been involved in?
Oh, it's just so exciting to me. I mean, we all are. I just about a month ago I was with Michael Fox and Chris Lloyd and Tom Wilson at a Comic-Con, and we're all so honored and touched that there's still so many fans for Back to the Future. It's just lovely. And I went to see the musical a couple weeks ago. I know, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but I loved it. I was like, someone else playing Lorraine McFly? I'm not sure. But then it ended up because the present day Lorraine McFly was on something called like Love Island or something. So my daughter Zoe Deutsch is a big fan. She's a big fan. Amber is her name. And she was so lovely and she sang so beautifully. And I was just amazed, and it's going to open on Broadway. I mean, who would think after 35 years that would happen? Yeah. And that all the, so many fans that weren't even born when the movie was made are here. It's very touching to all of us. So thank you.
It certainly spans generations for sure. What do you think it is about the film, or films, I should say, that sort of resonates with even a younger audience today that had to kind of go back and rewatch? What do you think it is about it?
Well, in my opinion, the movie, you can get something from it depending upon how old you are, and it'll be different every time you watch it as you get older. Like if you're a kid, you just like the skateboard and the truck with the poop in it and the flying car. But then as you get older, you can really appreciate I think, the message of the movie that when George punches Biff, which is, I don't recommend that, but he does stand up for something and it changes his whole life. He stands up for himself, and so it changes his whole life. So I think there's different levels that different people can take from the movie, and as you get older, you want to show it to your kids, and that's what's happened, and it's wonderful. It's really a joy.
And there's certainly some wholesome moments there and lessons to be learned for sure. Again, guys, microphones on the left and right if you want to come up and ask a question. But this is obviously an American sitcom, I would call it, but Caroline in the City was so amazing. My girlfriends and I, watched every episode, loved it. Tell us about working on that. I mean, you play such amazing, strong female characters, but that one in particular was really influential for me.
Oh, thank you. I loved Caroline in the City because doing a sitcom in front of an audience is really scary. Yeah. It's like doing an opening night of a play and a movie every single week. So it's actually really the hardest form as an actor, I think, because you have very little time to learn your lines. and you also have to hit the jokes. And so I'm still best friends with my entire cast of Caroline in the City, and we love each other because it's kind of like you're out on a tightrope with each other, when you're acting a lot. And I really enjoyed that. And I wish I would have gone on a little bit longer.
Same. Now, your Back to the Future co-stars, we have had many of them here. One of my faves is Claudia Wells. She is hysterical. If you guys have ever seen some of her panels, they're on Monopoly Events YouTube. But what about your Back to the Future castmates? Do you keep in touch? I know you just saw a few of them, but is it sort of like a reunion when you see each other?
Oh, yeah. Whenever we do a Comic-Con, we get together and have a great time. And I watched Michael's new documentary called Still. Yeah. With Michael, and it was very sweet. I was in the audience with him in Vancouver, where he's from, and his mother has just passed away, so he said he thought it was sweet that his mother from Back to the Future was with him because his real mom couldn't be there.
Which so sweet.
Really made me cry. It was so sweet. Yeah, you know people for that long. You've been through so much with them. You definitely feel a lot for each other.
Yeah, and that's an experience you only can share together. Well, speaking of sweet, we have some of the most lovely sweet fans in the UK at Monopoly Events, and everyone's been so lovely, our cosplayers. But when you come to a Comic-Con like this, what's the experience like for you, meeting all of the fans?
It's just so lovely. I mean, I love to talk to people. I love to meet people. I love the idea that I can share something with them. I mean, I love my Howard the Duck fans. Any Howard the Duck fans out there?
He is especially excited for that one.
Yes, I love my Howard the Duck fans because, you've probably taken a few, I don't know. It's taken its lumps. But my Howard the Duck fans I'm really, really fond of. And it's just, for me, this, I'm a performer and I love to meet the people and get a feeling for what I'm doing. I'm also a director, so it's also really fun to find out what people are responding to and how they're responding.
Yeah, and definitely in the UK, it's kind of a different audience as well. What was the transition like from being in front of the camera to then directing behind the camera?
Well, I love directing, and I've had a chance to do all kinds of different shows. I've done the sitcom like The Goldbergs. I've done Mom. I've done my show Switched at Birth. I don't know if you guys had Switched at Birth here, but that was a lovely show. I directed my own feature called The Year of Spectacular Men with both of my daughters, and that was really, really fun. And now I've kind of gone into, I did Star Trek Picard Season 2. I did a bunch of those, and Resident Alien. I've done a lot of directing, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy directing myself even.
Yeah, that's a lot of diversity, though. All the shows that you mentioned, very different. So I have to ask, you have two daughters. What do they think of their mom being Lea Thompson? I mean, are they kind of like, oh, it's just mom? Because we had Nolan North up here, and he said sometimes his kids are just like, it's my dad. Are there any bragging rights in the house, or is it just, mom?
It's just, well, my husband is a director. Like I said, he directed Some Kind of Wonderful. So now we're both directors. And one of my other daughters is a director. So it's kind of like we all talk shop in the house. But a lot of times my kids have never seen half of my work.
Wow.
Well, because when they were kids, they used to cry when I kissed another guy. That wasn't their dad.
That's so cute.
They'd burst into tears, and it was, I think they just have scar tissue from that.
It's like mommy kissing Santa
and
Claus.
I'm still kissing people. I'm like,
Mom.
when am I going to not kiss people? I'm old. I'm just doing a new show called The Spencer Sisters, which hopefully will come here, and acting in it. And they had me kissing a guy and crying over him and the whole bit.
Oh my
like,
God.
really?
I suppose that would be weird if it's your mom kissing not your dad. I never thought of it that way. We've got some questions, but one more question for me. So, we have so many different genres here, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and different actors, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead. Was there anyone here at the Comic-Con this weekend that you were excited to meet or were a fan of, per se?
Everyone here. I'm really I was eating lunch all by myself because I get shy. I'm like, oh my God, I love your work. There's so many, Stranger Things. I'm just a big fan of that. All those actors and yeah, it's just exciting. It's always exciting because you meet. I mean, I also feel like as a director, it's really fun to meet these actors and hope that I get to work with them as a director too because I really admire them.
Yeah. It's just so funny for all of us to sit here and think that celebrities are then nervous meeting other celebrities. That just blows our minds. As a fangirl, I have to say that. We have a question over here. Let's go to the left. Hi there.
Hi, my name's Rachel, and I was wondering what was the best bit about being on the set of Back to the Future?
The best part of being, thank you, Rachel, for that lovely question. The best part of being on Back to the Future was I could tell that it was really working. It was a great script, and the cast all gelled together, and sometimes that isn't the case. And you realize that they didn't cast it right, or even that you were not cast correctly. So it was also a joy to watch Bob Zemeckis, the director. He would just get such a kick out of putting in little Easter eggs for people. And back in those days, people didn't watch movies very much. So he'd be like, if someone watches this movie a second time, they might see this. Little did he know that some people would watch it 50 times, So he was always so interested in creating an experience for you guys that would be fascinating and interesting. And he taught me a lot as a director. He would stack up the frame. The picture always had a story, extra story in it. And that was fun. It was fun when you made him happy.
Yeah. Love that.
Thank you, Rachel.
you.
Great question. We're going to go to the right over here with another question. Hi there.
Hello. God, that's loud. Quick question. Did you infinitely borrow any items from the Back to the Future set? And if so, what were they?
What's your name?
Amber.
Amber.
Yes.
Amber asked if I borrowed anything from the set. Well, Back to the Future 1, they gave me the pink dress and the crinoline and the corset and the shoes. Everything. I still have all of that. And then Back to the Future 2, they gave me the fake boobs.
Where do you display those, may I ask? Where are they?
Well, they were made of latex, so they really stunk, and I think someone threw them away. But they were, I figured it was personal because they made a plaster cast of my chest and then built it all like this. So I took that. I wish I'd taken more, but that was it. When we did Back to the Future 2, they couldn't find the pink dress. And so they asked me, and I lent them my dress for Back to the Future 2. Thank you for that lovely question, Amber.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great answer. We've got a question over here on the left. Hello, sir.
Hi, Leah. It's me, Owen.
Hi, Owen.
How was the card I gave you?
Oh, I didn't read it yet. I'm
All
taking
right,
it
well,
home to read it,
Yeah,
darling.
because the reason why I wrote you a card, Leah, is because you're my most favorite actress from all of Back to the Future. Welcome back to 2023.
Thank you so much, Owen.
Give
Funny
Owen a round
question.
of applause. Yay.
Funny thing. I met Owen at a bar yesterday on St. Patrick's Day, and he said he was coming here and he wanted to meet Lea Thompson. And my husband said, well, this is Lea Thompson. He had a great look on his face.
That's hilarious. Owen, thank you so much.
Take care back to the USA, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. Another question here on the right. Hi there.
Hiya, I just wondered, since you work in front of and behind the camera, do you have like a preference for which job you do? Do you have like a favorite?
What's your name, darling?
It's Catherine.
Catherine. My name is kind of Leah Kathleen. Do I prefer being in front or behind the camera? It's hard for me to say. The truth of the matter is that there's not a lot of parts for women my age. So I like being in a good production than a really bad one. So I'd rather direct Star Trek than be in a really crappy little movie. So I really like both. And but I think it's about the part or the production and the content and the quality. I've done a lot of really bad movies, I think, but not directing. I've been able to direct so many beautiful things, and I'm so happy to be able to do both. Thank you.
Because Star Trek is so popular at Comic-Con, and I'm a fan as well, especially the new Discovery series. Yes, thank you. Can you expound upon your work with Star Trek, and were you a fan before?
I was always, since I was a little girl, and it was already in reruns. I was a big fan of the Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner, Star Trek. It really helped shape my whole way that I look at the world. So when I directed Star Trek Picard in the second season, when they dropped my name in, directed by Lea Thompson, they put the music in, dun 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 dun, and I literally started to bawl. I just could not believe that I was part of that. I always thought they'd hire me to act in one of them, but they never did. So I was so proud to direct 2 of them, and Patrick Stewart is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it. And I hope to do the Strange New Worlds. I love that show. I love that show.
That's so cool that it meant so much to you, and then you got to, it's a
it
full
was
circle
huge,
moment.
Huge.
Yeah, very cool. We have a question over here on the right. Hi there.
What was the favorite movie you starred in?
What's your name?
Millie.
Millie, hi. The favorite movie I've starred in, well, there's kind of different things. Well, Back to the Future is my favorite movie because it's beloved by so many people in the world. But my movie, The Year of Spectacular Men, which I did, my daughter wrote it, starred in it, did the score, wrote 5 songs for it. I directed it, and my other daughter acted and produced. That's obviously a family project and so lovely. It's the only thing I ever made from scratch. But Red Dawn I had so much fun. That movie was because I got to be a tomboy and ride horses and, be in a Western. I love Westerns. So I think there's few that are really dear to my heart, and those are 3 of them. Oh, and Some Kind of Wonderful, I met my husband.
Yeah. Nice little perk. What a talented household. Thank you for your question. Another question from me. So I told my husband, of course, that I'm fangirling. And again, not playing favorites, but, and I said, I'm so excited to meet her. And he goes, what would I know her for? I know her. And he goes, oh, my God, you know what I loved her in? Dennis the Menace. I would love to talk to you about Dennis the Menace. What an amazing film. What a sweet, wholesome film you can show your kids. Can you talk about your involvement on Dennis the Menace?
Dennis the Menace is really funny because Christopher Lloyd, who plays Doc in Back to the Future, I did 4 movies almost in a row with him. Each one took 6 months to shoot. So I spent 2 solid years in movies with him, and we only did 1 scene together. And Back to the Future, there's only 1 scene that we actually kind of speak to each other. And then I've done 3 other movies with Chris. I just did a Christmas movie with Chris, and we're never in a scene together. So someday I want to do a movie with Chris where I'm in a scene with him. But Dennis the Menace was really fun because it was a John Hughes movie. And what was interesting was the boy who played Dennis the Menace, he was 5 years old, and he had memorized the entire script for the read-through. I told his mother, I said, how can he read? He's too young. And she said he memorized the whole script.
Wow, he was phenomenal. In that role. Yeah.
Amazing.
I didn't know he was 5.
5.
Wow. What a great movie. We love that one. Question over here to the left.
Hi, Lea. I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too. My question is, the Back to the Future franchise had lots of different timelines. I'm just wondering, do you have a favorite version of Lorraine from the whole franchise?
One of my favorites is what we call the Biff horrific Lorraine from Back to the Future 2. I thought that was, when I was like, you were the one who wanted me to get these things. If you want them back, you can have them. I love that character, and I always wish someone would let me play her now that I'm really older. But of course, I like the young Lorraine. She was, I had to play Mr. Sandman to get into character with her because she was just so goofy. And I love the idea that I'm known for a movie where I got to play so many different characters, and that each one was a different acting challenge. None of them were me, and so I think it's Bifferific Lorraine I loved.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you. We'll go to the right here with another question from this
Hello,
lovely
dear.
gentleman.
Hi, Leah. Nice to meet you. I'm Jake.
Hi, Jake.
I was wondering, I love The Goldbergs, one of my favorite shows on television. But I love Adamsons for similar in so many ways. I like toys, haven't fully grown out of them yet. Love movies, particularly 80s movies, because, you don't really get The Breakfast Club now, do you? But I was wondering, is Adam as nerdy as he is in the show as he appears as an adult? Because I heard he's got like a load of toys in his office and stuff. And is Wendy McLean-Covey, who's Beverly, really as... Because I love the family, it's just a really... They can have their moments, yes, but it's mostly like a scream at the top of their lungs family, which I can relate to. but is
What-
Adam really as nerdy as he appears? Because I'm in love with his work. Because
What's your name again?
Jake.
Oh, sorry, Jake. Is Adam the character or Adam the writer that it's based on his life?
Kind of both, really. Because
Well, Sean, who plays Adam, I don't know if he's a nerd with a lot of stuff, but Adam, who it's based on his life, we're talking about the Goldbergs. Do you have that, the show here, the Goldbergs? I direct the Goldbergs a lot. I directed the one that was on last week in America and like one in another week. And so I've directed the Goldbergs for 6 or 7 years now. It's canceled. But when I went for my first meeting with Adam Goldberg, whose life it's based on, he had an entire office full of toys and a lot of Back to the Future toys. And it was really funny. I was like, do you want me to sign these? If you give me the job, I'll sign. But yes, he's a very big nerd in the best way possible. Also, Terry Matalas, who is the showrunner of Star Trek Picard, he was the one that was instrumental in actually rebuilding the original DeLorean from Back to the Future because it was sitting out in the back lot, and so he had it all remade. So he's a big nerd too. So nerds unite!
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Here's a question for you about the Goldbergs. Whose idea was it to cast Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, in the Goldbergs? Brilliant.
Bill Goldberg. I had so much fun. I directed Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, many times on a show called Schooled, which was a spinoff. And then somehow I ended up in the Goldbergs with him as my boyfriend. I don't know how that happened,
perfect.
but they called me up and said, do you want Bill Goldberg to be your boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, why not? He's so funny. He's the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. We have another question here to the left. Hiya.
Hi, Leah. I'm Matt. Been a big fan of the Back to the Future films for the last 3 or so decades, so thank you. My question for you is, if you had a real-life time-traveling DeLorean, what year would you go back to and why?
It's so bizarre. I get asked this question all the time, and I never have an answer. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I'm happy where I am. Yeah, a time machine scares me. I wouldn't want to go too far back or too far forward. So I think I just would maybe go back a couple years when I didn't have these wrinkles right here. Sorry, I don't have a good answer. I never do.
Well, that's okay. Sometimes it's just best to enjoy the present, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I'll hopefully catch up with you at some point. But
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. It's
Yes,
nice to
Leah
talk
will
to
be
you.
back for autographs and
Yes.
photos after this panel, so don't miss your chance to meet her in person. We have another question here to the right. Hello.
Hey, I'm Craig. You know me.
Yes, hello.
I want to say welcome to Aberdeen, and it's great to you come here. But my biggest question is, did you ever drove the DeLorean after you done the film?
Yes, that's so funny. I did drive the DeLorean when I did Dancing with the Stars for some reason. They were like, and my partner was very angry because he wanted to drive the DeLorean. And not only that, they put a camera down there and they said, go as fast as you can towards the camera. And I said, this car has terrible brakes. Please don't make me do that. But yes, the car is very sluggish to drive, for sure. I was just told by a friend of mine here that he has a DeLorean, and it's very hard to drive here because it's on the wrong side.
Well, you got scared of the DeLorean.
I was. It didn't drive very well. But it's such a cool car. It's so exciting that they I don't know if you know this, but in the original script it was a refrigerator. And they had to change it because they thought that would be unsafe for kids to get in refrigerators.
I had no idea. That could be a Comic-Con exclusive.
Yes, it was a refrigerator, and they changed it to a DeLorean.
Yeah, that's not nearly as cool. A refrigerator.
Yeah.
Back to the Future refrigerator.
Thank you for your question.
Great question.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
And welcome to Aberdeen again.
Thank you. It's fantastic.
Have you had a chance to see much of Aberdeen since you've been here? And when you go to Comic-Cons and work-related trips, do you make time to kind of see the town and see some history?
Yes, I did. My husband and I toured all day yesterday, and the sun came out. That was nice on St. Patty's. And like I said, I went to the Queen's Bar in, what was the town? I can't remember. What town?
Owen will know. Where's Owen? Owen was there.
Stonehaven, Leah. I was in
best.
Stonehaven, and I went to the castle, and we went out to eat. A beautiful fish restaurant. It was lovely.
Love to hear it. Now, this gentleman to the left you may recognize.
My son, Marty. Oh, my God, Marty. Or is it Calvin Klein?
Give a round of applause. Some amazing cosplay here in Aberdeen. Very cool. Go ahead with your question, sweetheart.
Hi, Leah. My name's Ollie, and I just wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what is your favorite Back to the Future movie?
Thank you, Ollie, for that lovely question about which is my favorite Back to the Future movie. I think Back to the Future 1 is often considered almost a perfect movie, so which is rare by a lot of people. So I think it just because of how it all came together, just the script and the cast and maybe the fact that we had to reshoot 6 weeks of it, whatever happened, it kind of ended up being a really great movie. Even though they only had like 3 weeks from the time we finished the movie to the time it had to be in the theaters, which is really unusual because, I don't know, but somehow they made a really great movie. So number 1, I think, the first.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what a soundtrack, my goodness. One of the
Thank
best
you.
ever. We have time for just a few more questions, and there's a gentleman to your right. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Lewis, and what's your favorite part about the DeLorean in Back to the Future?
My favorite part was that in Back to the Future 1, they had no idea they were going to make Back to the Future 2, so they put another person in the front seat, and no one fits in the front seat, so that was peculiar. But also, just that it looks so cool. But I always am afraid when I get inside, I'm going to bonk my head, which I have done many, many times. I've bonked my head on the door.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
So cute. A question over here to the left. Hi.
Hi, I was just wondering, how did you know you wanted to become an actor?
I'm still not sure I want to be an actor. I'll let you know. I was a ballet dancer, but my body wasn't flexible enough. So I kind of washed out when I was about 20. And so I started acting, and I did Burger King commercials. And then I got my first movie, which was called Jaws 3D. And I did all my own stunts for that. And then I was just swept up into being an actor. I'd done some plays when I was a kid. But it just, sometimes you end up doing something you never thought you were going to do. And that's what happened to me. I'm lucky, honestly.
Thank you so much.
We're
Thank
so
you,
glad
dear.
you kept up with it. My goodness.
Thank you. I'm so glad to meet you.
Oh, thank
You're
you so much.
great.
Oh my gosh.
Can we have a round of applause
No,
for this
I
beautiful
literally
woman?
looked at Aaron and I went, I'm dying. I'm just such a fan.
You're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Can I ask you before we get to our final questions, who are some of the actors or actresses that inspired you when you were, coming up in the ranks?
I think, wow. You know what? I have something called name-nesia. You all can use this if you want it, but I always forget names when I'm under pressure, which is a dumb thing to have when you're an actor, because it's always a million names. Or a director. I think I loved, so many actors, and I keep meeting them, but I don't know, Audrey Hepburn, Katharine Hepburn. My mother was an actress. She was an amazing actress, just a local actress, and she was amazing, and I really looked up to her. She was very powerful. I I can't remember all the people. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good. Those are great. We have a question here to the right. Hello, sir.
Hiya. I'm not gonna lie, you just stole my question, so I'm
Oh
gonna
my
have to
gosh,
think
I'm
of
the
another
worst.
one.
I told you guys, I
what's your
warned them.
name?
I was going to fangirl,
Hi,
sorry.
my name is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Right. So my other question was, how easy was the transition from acting to directing? Because I know some people have, taken the role really well. Some people haven't. So I just wondered what your experience with it was.
I've been directing for like 17 years, so it's been. I really love it because I can use all that I've learned, and I love directing young people and young actresses too, especially because I understand what they go through and all the different things about being a young actress, which is interesting, and I love to be able to give them my little cheat sheet of things to do. There's a lot of technical things that I can teach them, and that makes me happy because I think that if you get older and you don't teach, you can get bitter. So I like being part of the new generation and helping other people. But it's a whole other business, so it took me a while to get into it, to get upper, to the upper echelons of directing and being able to do what the shows I want to do and the shows I don't have to do the shows I don't want to. But it seemed natural to me because I've been doing it for so long. So I can help in very practical ways the actors, which makes me feel good. But thank you for that lovely question.
Thank you for answering it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got a question here to the left. Hi.
What's your favorite movie that you've not starred in?
I suppose it would have to be Princess Leia in Star Wars. I wish I could have been in the first in Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I love all the Star Wars. And I love Star Wars and Star Trek. Usually you have to pick one or the other. I love them both.
Oh, yeah. That's a big thing as far as, picking a side for some reason. Yeah.
No, I even directed a show that was entitled Star Wars versus Star Trek. It was the Goldbergs.
I love them both, too. That's what we love here at Comic Cons. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
There's one over here to your right.
Hi. Yeah. What was the old age prosthetic in Back to the Future 2 like?
Say again, the prosthetic?
The old age prosthetic.
Oh, the old age prosthetic.
With the wig and the what was that like?
What's your name?
Mason.
Mason, hi.
Yeah.
I had lots of different prosthetics in Back to the Future because they made me 47, which was very old. And that actually that kind of makeup is really hard to do to make someone just a little bit older. But I was also 85 or something in Back to the Future too. And that was a lot because it was from here all the way, the whole head. And Bifferific Lorraine was from back here all the way down to here. So it's actually really hard. They glue it on you. And it's very hard to take off, and it feels weird. But it's also really hard because they glue it right here. So you have to be careful to laugh, not to laugh and when I was acting with Michael Fox and Crispin Glover, I was hard not to laugh because they were so funny, because it'll break the makeup right here. But it's a very long process, and it's hard. It's a hard process, but it's crazy to look at yourself so different.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound pretty hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mason.
Thank you.
Very dapper gentleman, Ms. Mason.
I'll
Give
say.
Mason a round of applause. Looks fabulous. We got a question over here from this lovely lady to the left.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I was wondering if you could say one thing to an aspiring actress, what would it be?
Hello, Sophia. I think aspiring actors should know that it's a lot of work, and that it's not a lot of glory or glamour, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work in a way that's so wonderful because you're part of a whole crew of people who do different things, and everyone's working to create this magic, and you're just part of that. And it's super important to know that and to try and work and try to do plays and sing and dance, all the things that can make you a better actor. Because it's not just something that just kind of happens, it's something you work hard towards. And there's a lot of, both of my children are actors, and there's a lot of disappointments, and there's a lot of setbacks, but you have to just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
Best of luck to you, Sophia. Okay, so what was the reaction from you when the kids wanted to get into the family business?
I just was sad because I knew I'd have to deal with all their sadness when things go right and things go wrong. It's always like that. But
a lot of rejection, right?
Yes, a lot of rejection, a lot of disappointment, but also some lovely things. And my daughter is Zoe Deutsch. She's been in a lot of movies, and she's a lovely actress. And my other daughter, Maddie Deutsch, is mostly a writer now. Okay. But it's fun to be able to talk just like any family business. If everybody was in a bar or everybody was in some other business, we have a shorthand to talk to each other.
Very cool. Talented household. We have a final question from this lovely gentleman on the right. Thank you.
Hi, what would be your favourite scene to have filmed in Back to the Future?
I think my favorite scene was when Marty first wakes up in my bedroom. I think that's a funny scene, and Michael Fox was so great in that scene. And that was a scene I had to audition with. So I love that scene. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, dear.
So cute.
I want to thank you guys all for listening. I really appreciate it. Aberdeen's so beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. You guys are all so wonderful, and I'll be here over there for the rest of the weekend.
Yes.
I'm so honored that you sat here and listened to this. So
yes.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was ours. Wishing you continued success. I'm going to cry. Lea Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for this legendary, stunning beauty. Thank you so much. Keep it going for Lea Thompson.